Hello everybody. I have decided to come on here today in not ideal circumstances, but if I don't do it, then it'll never get done. So I thought you guys could come along with me. I'm going to try to get ready, and if this doesn't work, I'll just come back after I'm ready and when I'm starting to crochet and stuff like that. But I thought we could talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with the crochet side of things and everything. And like I said, my daughter and I were just having a, what do you call it, Reg? Makeup party. As you can see, I did not get my makeup done, but I got my nails done. These are the nails she picked out. And so I got my nails done, but she is much faster than me. So she got her nails done and her makeup done, and she looks gorgeous. But I didn't quite get my makeup done. So I am going to work on that. I am incredibly tired because same said daughter, had me up late into the night and, early in this morning. So I have caffeine, and my son 3D prints for us, and he 3D printed me this cute, I need to put on a keychain still, because honestly I've stolen a few of these, but can opener, and then it goes like that, so that way I don't have to, I'm worried I was gonna spill it without putting it on the table, so I don't have to mess up my nails to open my cans, because he's so sweet. So hopefully that wakes me up a little bit, because I'm very tired today and I got a lot I want to get done, including talking with you guys. So I mentioned that these were not ideal circumstances. First of all, I'm not like ready for the day yet, even though it's like solidly midday. And my two wonderful children are literally right there, like inches away from me playing a video game. So I hope that you can't hear them too badly with my mic. I've got like, my mic's dragging my shirt down, but I got my mic, and I don't know what happened to the fuzzy top, but I think the fuzzy top is supposed to help cancel out background noise, but I think I have the background noise cancel mode on because this has like multiple modes. I'm hoping that's on so that way maybe it keeps them to a dull roar. I have instructed them to try to like whisper to each other, but they have informed me that the background noise, they're playing like a workout video game where it's like, you know, it's a video game, but you have to like move, kind of like the Wii. But like they have informed me that that background noise from that, which doesn't give any instructions or anything, but the background music is very important for their motivation apparently. So hopefully that's not too distracting, but I thought it might be fun and I can get a head start on talking to you all about crochet stuff while I get ready, because we have somewhere to go today. And like I said, my daughter requested a makeup party, and again, she kind of ditched me, but it's only because I'm slow and she's very fast. So I am trying to like gather my thoughts here. Like, I don't do makeup that much anymore. I'm trying to get back into it. I used to love makeup. I used to work in like the makeup department at Macy's, and I was really into it for a good few years, but I have not been into it much lately, especially like, I don't know. I was gonna say after having kids, but that's not true, because I think I don't know. I got into it when I was probably pregnant with my son, really devotedly, and then well after I had him, I was really into it, but and then like, I don't know, I kind of like ebb and flow with it, I guess. Makeup and skincare and all that. Like, there are just many times where I just can't be bothered, and that's okay. Same thing with my hair. I don't, as you can see, I usually, I often grow my hair very long, but every now and then I grow my hair long, and then I like to cut it pretty short and donate it. And I've done that, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. But the last 2 times I did it, I grew it really long, had a baby. The baby started pulling on my long hair. I'm like, it's time to donate it. And that's what I did for the last 2 times. But my youngest is almost 6 now. So it's been a while since I've had to do it for that reason. And I just can't be bothered. Like, I was wearing it up all the time anyways, so I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's time. Hopefully this can bless someone else. So anyways, I'm going to start off with some primer. Again, I literally can't even remember the order I used to do things in because it's been so long, but I'm trying to remember. Trying to, yeah, get back with the program. Because I do like to do my makeup every once in a while. I do find that, like, I'm definitely more motivated to film. Although I'm trying not to let whether or not I'm ready be the factor on filming. I think that has led to a lot of inconsistency with my YouTube channel and even some of like my Instagram and stuff, because it's like, oh well, I don't want to film because my nails aren't done, or I don't want to film, like, especially with crochet because you see your hands so much, or I don't want to film long form content or like market breakdowns because I'm not ready or whatever. So I'm trying not to let that stop me anymore, but and I think I've gotten a little bit better about not letting it stop me, but I still just do feel like more motivated, excited when I am ready. Honestly, I literally can't remember. This is kind of my go-to foundation. It's pretty good coverage, and I used to wear that all the time, especially like when we were going to like the theme parks and stuff all the time. But my niece got me this. I'm trying to remember how I used to use it because it's been a while. But I'm just gonna put it on and see what happens. I think we put this on with our hands, even though this feels weird and wrong. I'm supposed to be talking about crochet, not makeup. I'm going to try to focus on makeup. This would be easier to focus on makeup if I was more like had a better routine with my, wait, what? This would be easier to focus and talk about crochet if I had a more regular routine with my makeup. That's what I meant to say. My sister, my beautiful, lovely sister, I have two of them. My beautiful sister Jamie has a makeup channel. She is called The Makeup Nurse here on YouTube. And I enjoy watching her. She's really, obviously I enjoy watching her. She's my sister. But she's really like down to earth, and you know, she can definitely talk while she's doing her makeup. She's got a routine down pretty good. Definitely need to be more like my sister. What do you guys think of this? Like, obviously I'm a crochet channel, but what do you think about like having videos like this where it's not necessarily crochet? Like, I'm not crocheting, but oh yes, supposed to be talking about crochet. Focus. So crochet, we have been doing these weekly, hold on one second guys. Nixon, do you remember that I asked you to try to talk quietly, please? Thank you. Yes, we've been doing these weekly farmers markets in my area, and they're pretty good. I already did a recap, a very distracted, chatty recap, which this might end up being like that too. Of 2 weeks ago, we made $500, over $500, but that was with a custom order, but we got the custom order from going to the market. So I'm counting it. So we made over $500, and that market is only for like, I don't know, 5 hours of the day. So I find that really good. I think a lot of people would, especially because it's only 15 minutes from our house. So it's super close, and it's really low stake, not low, it's low stakes because it's only a $40, oop, I kicked you. It's only a $40 booth fee, which is awesome. And it's low stakes for us because it's so darn close. But there are people who literally will drive for like 2 hours to get to this farmer's market. I don't know how often they've done it, but I have talked to several people who've at least tried it, you know, and driven 2 hours to get there. I don't know if they keep coming back or not. because, oh yeah, the other part that's low stakes is if you do a lot of outdoor markets, you usually have to sign up for the markets months in advance. And then if the weather's really bad or you're not feeling well or, something comes up, you're kind of stuck or you got to figure out something else or whatever. With this one, I really like you sign up every week. So like you commit when you apply to be an accepted vendor, and I committed to a minimum of once per month, but I think you can commit to more frequently. But for this one, I committed to a minimum of once a month. I think that's the lowest amount that you can come, is at least once a month. And that's what we committed to. And you can choose week by week. Like you don't have to pre-declare, I'm going to come every second weekend or whatever. So like if the weather is not going to be great, or I don't know if I talked about this, but we were signed up, another example, we were signed up for the 4th of July market in my town, which is a huge thing. You apply months in advance. It's an expensive booth fee. It's $350, all this stuff. And then my lovely nephew decided last minute that he was going to change his wedding from August. Well, not last minute. I think with like a month and a half, 2 months in advance, he decided he was going to have a 4th of July wedding. We had already paid for gotten approved, paid for our booth fee, and all of that. So hold on, I'm going to put this on and I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry for the jump scare. But I thought I'd spare us all for me trying to do this while talking. So anyway, so we applied, we had already paid for our booth fee for the 4th of July. And then we had to like have the really awkward and uncomfortable thing of like contacting the organizers and telling them that we could no longer do it. And thankfully they were really nice about it, but I was really, really nervous because this is a really difficult event to get into. It's known to be a very difficult event to get into. And so I'm really glad that they were so nice about it. And, but with the farmer's market, you don't have that problem because again, it's week by week. And she even lets you, even if you sign up, like say I sign up on Sunday or Monday, I can cancel for not owing my booth fee anytime before 9 a.m. Friday. And it's a Saturday farmer's market. So this is a great look right here. This is what we're going for. So anyways, so it is very low stakes, which is really nice. And I also have the amazing benefit of having my husband's business too. So if I, can't make them once a month, or I mean, I could, but it could be stressful if I have like a lot of big markets or I sell out or whatever, which is a good problem to have. But it is really nice that I also have the blessing of my husband having a business. So for the first few months of going to this farmer's market, he actually took my monthly obligations because I ended up doing a lot better at some of the other events than I was planning. And it would have been like, I probably could have done it, but it would have been more stressful in order to do it. So I'm really glad that he was able and willing to take that over. So, so I love that it's a low stakes situation at that farmer's market. Now, give me a second, let me remember what I've done on my face. So yeah, it's very nice that it's so relaxed at this farmer's market. It's a huge load off. So Not Your Grannies for the first time did the market that I already did a market recap about 2 weeks ago where we made $500, including the custom order. And, then we did we skip a week? Yeah, because I think we may have gone to so we skipped a week. So I guess it was more than 2 weeks ago because I was forgetting we skipped a week. So we did it, and then we went to my cousin, or my nephew. Sorry, let me just try to start that over. We did the market as Not Your Grannies for the first time a few weeks ago. And then we went to my nephew's wedding for the 4th of July weekend. And then when we came back, I did it again as Not Your Granny's just last weekend. And we did like exactly $300 at that one. I did get somebody messaging me about wanting a custom order, but I did get somebody messaging me after this last one about another custom order from this past weekend, but I don't think I don't know if it's gonna pan out. Sometimes people like message me and it will take a long time. Like I think the longest time I've ever had was a woman messaged me like 8 months ago and then was like, yeah, let's move forward. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I couldn't even remember, you know, this conversation. So sometimes it does take a while for people to like follow through, but sometimes they eventually do. But anyways, so I'm only counting the 300 from that last farmer's market.
I'm pushing. No, push again.
This one looks much less scary now. Okay, so I ran out of storage on my phone, of course. And so my lovely son went and got a backup phone. So I'm borrowing a phone right now. I have finished some more of my makeup. And where were we? I think we were talking about the benefit, like how beneficial it really is to have the flexibility. And again, like a market, like, yeah, it's not bringing in $1,000 a weekend or something, which again, I don't need it to, especially when it's such a low booth fee and it's so convenient, so close, and we don't have to, like, it's like a stress-free, oh, well, it's not stress-free, stress-free-ish. Good deal, and we really like it, so we did that. Obviously, like, it's always, like, stressful and difficult, especially doing outdoor markets in Texas. Oh no, I raised my eyebrows because I was emphasizing and I drew in the wrong spot. Anyways, yeah, it's always gonna be difficult doing an outdoor market in Texas in the middle of summer. Like, it used to be easier at this market because originally we were allowed to drive our cars right to our spot to unload. And then they had to put a stop to that because I think some cars, this is at a park, a public park, and the city lets us, you know, set up there. Or maybe the organizer pays the city for the privilege. Like, I don't really know how that works. But anyway, the city kind of said no more parking on the grass. So I'm assuming some grass got damaged or something. So they put a hard stop to that. So we have to drop all of our stuff. And because they're worried about like people being in the way you have to do it is you have to drop all your stuff first on the sidewalk. And like this other thing is like the rules keep changing. And so it's really hard. And then like they change. And if you're not there, like, and we are in like a big group. What is it called? WhatsApp. But like, I will completely admit, I do not watch the WhatsApp. Actually, I have storage issues on my phone, as you can tell, because I just, you know, had to switch devices. So I don't even have the WhatsApp, but my husband has the WhatsApp, but he also has like a full-time job outside of vending and everything. So, you know, he's not like the most, so anyway, so what I'm trying to say is we're not the best vendors about being like up on what's going on in the WhatsApp and everything, but it is hard because the rules keep changing from what they were originally, what we like signed up for. And the only hard part is like if you don't show up for a while, then the rules change. Then all of a sudden you're kind of like that vendor that's like not following the rules. And it's like, I'm not trying to not follow the rules. I just didn't realize that they changed. And I get that that's on me because I should be monitoring the WhatsApp better, I guess. I will say we also have a vendor only Facebook page, and I do monitor that closely. That's usually when I see complaints about people being that vendor is on the Facebook group. And I'm like, oh, we did that. Whoopsies. You know, didn't realize that changed. Stuff like that. So anyways, so yeah, it used to be more convenient than it is now. Now, I mean, it doesn't sound too bad. So you're supposed to like pull in, drop all your stuff off, move your car, which I told my husband next they're going to say, you know, because as it's worded, again, it was like, don't be that vendor, like don't be taking up parking spots, drop all your stuff on the sidewalk, then move your car way over, you know, so there's plenty of customer parking. You're supposed to move your car pretty far away, and then come back and make your trips to haul your stuff to your booth. And I'm like, watch, next it's going to be, you know, why are you blocking the sidewalk with your stuff? Like, people can't be hauling their stuff on the sidewalk, because, you know, people are dumping all their stuff and then being gone for however many minutes it takes them to go park their car and walk back. But that's how we're supposed to do it right now, and that's how we did it, because I'm a rule follower and I like to follow. Well, yeah, I get really anxious not following the rules, so I like to follow the rules. So we dumped our stuff. I don't even remember who moved the car, but one of us moved the car. The other started hauling stuff to the spot. And then we set up. I always also like to get there early. So I always take the first load-in option, because it goes in half-hour increments. So it's like, I think the earliest you can get there is between 6:30 and 7. And honestly, we're usually there a little bit early, but there's other vendors that are there a little early too, so it's never been a big deal. But so I always like to get there super early and then get set up, and then we can just kind of like relax before the market gets really going and people start showing up like in mass. I will say, that everybody follows the rules, and that makes it pretty difficult for the rest of the people who are trying to follow the rules. Also, I think it's very ironic because the city, I told you it's a city park, the city has a trolley that they drive around on the weekends. So like, which is a really cool, it's like a public transportation thing. So like you can park far away and then ride the trolley to like the, you know, all the different like stuff going on spots, to the square and to this park and other places too. And I'm like, that's super cool. However, the trolley spot is fully in the grass. Like the trolley literally does not take the road to get to this park. It drives on the road everywhere else, but to get to this park, it literally drives through the grass, parks on the grass, does a U-turn in the grass and drives out, right next to a big sign that says no parking or driving on the grass, like due to city ordinance. And I'm like, so the city can drive in the grass, but anyway. So that's always like, whatever. My kids are fighting, as you can probably hear. Guys, can we resolve this nicely, please? Thank you. So anyways, but yeah, when other people don't follow the rules and just blatantly break the rules, it makes it a lot harder. Like the last time we parked our car, dumped our stuff, moved the car, and it is so much harder. Like, we're getting a better dolly. Like, we're just gonna have to, because the dolly that we have has the big wheels on the back but the littler wheels on the front, and it does not drive in grass well or uneven terrain because of that. And we waited as long as we could, but we had to eventually haul our stuff. We ended up having to haul our stuff through the grass, even though the way this market is set up, there's sidewalks everywhere. Like, if you're like, all the vendors are always set up on the sidewalks. So you can, like, we would have had to walk like down through, you know, whatever, but it would have all been sidewalk, and it was really easy to roll the dolly on that. There was a big trailer blocking the sidewalk the entire time during our load-in time. So because that trailer, and again, that trailer did not like, what do you call it? Drop all the stuff, then move the trailer, and then set up the tent. That's not how it was going. The trailer was blocking the entire time before we were there, after we were done setting up, it was still there blocking the way while they were setting up and everything. So we ended up having to hoof all our stuff through the grass, which was way more difficult than being able to drive it through the sidewalks, which was the intended purpose of this, like being considerate to other vendors. So that's annoying because, again, like, I'm trying to be a rule follower, but not everybody's a rule follower. And like, that's where I feel like you get the vendors who are just like, well, I'm gonna park close because I don't want to have to walk. Like, they see other people not following the rules, and, you know, I feel like everyone, maybe it's just human nature, but like everybody's like trying to, you know, well, why should I have to, or this is easier for me, or whatever. But when everybody does that, it all like starts to fall down, obviously. But anyway, so that was just difficult this time, because that was happening. But anyway, but obviously we survived. We made it through. We got all our, so that was like the difficult part up front. And then we got all our stuff to our tent, and our tent neighbor on the one side was so sweet. He has this super funny catchphrase, and I love this. I love finding vendors who are like salespeople. Like, I'm a crochet vendor. I'm a crocheter. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not good at it. Much to, I'm sure, my business's detriment. But I am not good at being a salesperson. And, but he was phenomenal. He would, like, every person who walked by, one of his slogans, because he actually had more than one, but one of his slogans was, he was selling hot sauce. And it's like, you know, he makes it. It's his family recipe. And Louisiana hot sauce. You know what? I bought some of this man's hot sauce. My husband loves hot stuff. And I was literally making Buffalo Ranch chicken sliders the next day. And we were putting in a Walmart order while we were at there. And I was like, I think we need more hot sauce. And we're like, obviously this guy, his slogan that I just thought was so clever and cute, when people walked by, he would just say, do you want a chance to, I'm going to butcher it. I'm not a salesperson. Do you want a chance to try the best? No, I'm going to butcher it. Want a chance to try dang it. What the heck? Do you want to try the best hot sauce of this side of heaven? It was something like that, but he obviously did it much better. It took me 8 tries just to like get the line out without butchering it, which I still probably did. But yeah, no, it was so cute. It was so clever. It got a lot of people's attention. He's a great salesman. I wish I had a little of that, you know, salesman in me for my business, but I don't. I just kind of sit back, and like the best I do is if I see people looking in our general direction, or if they walk into our booth and look, you know, I'll hit them with, guys, you're being a little loud again. I'll hit them with like a, you know, hello, how are you doing? Whoa. That's kind of the best I got. But anyways, he was awesome. And it was really fun being his neighbor. But yeah, we bought his hot sauce because it really was phenomenal. And why am I talking about? Oh yeah, so that was our neighbor on our one side. The other side neighbor, I tried to interact with a little bit, but I didn't get to talk to her much. She was actually pretty busy. She had a double booth too, so maybe it was because she was a little farther away from us most of the day. But yeah, I didn't really get to interact with her much. Not as much as the hot sauce guy. There wasn't a ton of like wow interactions that I can remember. Usually I like to tell, you know, one of the interactions, or at least one, or like my favorite interactions, usually what I like to do. Now I am about a week past the market, so maybe I just forgot. I can't remember. There was no like wow me kind of interactions that really stick out in my brain, and I feel like there weren't that many last time either. Like I feel like it's so hard because in my area, I don't usually get the like, oh, this stuff is so expensive, like kind of like, I mean, like, yeah, sometimes we get like, oh, wow. And we'll get like the kids who make comments, and the parents are like, hey, she, you know, had to make all this by hand. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of hard work, like whatever. We get those, but like at this farmer's market, I don't know if it's maybe because it's like,
Try it this time too. So put this between your legs and take your hands off it. And take your hands off it.
I don't know if it's because it's like a farmer's market and not like a festival, because again, I don't usually get this at festivals in my town. And if that looks like a lot, it's because it was. I came up in 2016 makeup, okay? That's where my heart is. So I have blush blindness. No, I'm sorry. I have eyebrow blindness from that era, and I'm trying to overcome it. And I got back into it when all the blush stuff, so I also have blush blindness, but this is a technique I learned back then where you really saturate your face. And then when it's almost dry, you take your beauty blender and you bounce back over everything, and it helps like all of your powder melt in, because again, in 2016 it was like the really flawless full coverage bases. And anyway, so this is what I still do. I don't know if it actually makes a difference, but it's what I do. Anyways, yeah, so I usually get interactions like that, but this time it was like, and again, last time too at this farmer's market, I feel like it was a lot more of the like, oh, this much for that kind of like negative kind of reactions. And which again, I just don't normally get at the festivals in my area. But yeah, so maybe it's like a farmer's market versus festival thing. But again, like I still did okay. I'm still happy with my sales. It's just like there wasn't as many like fulfilling conversations, interactions. But yeah, like even like one of my best like, or like one of the ones that sticks out in my head was a guy who walked up, immediately saw my Umbreon, like the big ones. I'll try to remember to insert a picture if I have one. But like one of the big ones, and he immediately walked up, grabbed it, brought it over because it was kind of like out at the front of my booth, and was like, I want to buy this. And I was like, oh, and I told him how much it was, and he was like, oh, really? Oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, do you still want it? And he was like, you know, I never buy stuff for myself at these things, so yeah, like go ahead. But like again, it wasn't, I don't know, a super great interaction, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like, oh, like he just like loved it so much. Like he obviously loved it so much he bought it, even though it was like a hard price for him to swallow, for lack of a better word. But like, I don't know, just the interactions aren't as good, I feel like, on like, you know, at large. And I also had like some like negative, like, I don't know, they weren't really like, whatever, they were kind of negative towards the end. Some things I actually, for the first time ever, I've never really had this, especially with another vendor's kid, but I had a vendor's kid come up to me and ask me if I had $19, and I thought she was asking like if I could make change, like, you know, oh, I want to buy something for $1, but you know, all I have is a 20 or something like that. And I was like, so I asked, I was like, you mean to like make change? And she was like, well, no. And I was like confused, and we like had this like confusion kind of go back and forth for a few seconds. And then finally she was like, well, all I have is $1, and there's something at this other booth I want to buy. And I'm like, oh, then it, you know, I'm like, oh, you're literally asking me to just give you $19 so you can go spend it at another booth. And I'm like, I was like, oh no, like, sorry. I don't know. It was just like, it was awkward because obviously I don't like disappointing a little kid. And obviously it was uncomfortable to have to like have that interaction. But obviously, you know, we handled it, and I just like politely said no. And I'm like, maybe that's like not a big deal for other people, because I mean, obviously she's just a kid. Like, I'm not like mad about it or anything, but it was just like really uncomfortable because I am a huge people pleaser. And I will literally, like, it is so hard for me to, you know, have these kinds of, like, uncomfortable conversations and stuff. My mascara is, like, dying. So, yeah, it was really uncomfortable conversation to have. But I did not say yes, which is a good thing because there's definitely, like, a world in which I would have just been like, okay, and, like, given it to her. But anyways, yeah, and then at the end, because this is a farmer's market, they always come around and, like, have, like, trying to sell the produce that they didn't sell during the day. And I always say no to this, which again is hard for me. But I always say no to this mainly because, like, I just can't be bothered to think about, like, one, do I really want the thing that, but mainly it's like about, and I don't know, maybe this is also not good of me because honestly, I love going to farmers markets and I buy most of our produce from farmers markets. There's like a permanent farmers market in the next town over that I like to go to. And I love that because it has like its own building and I don't have to like try to get it on specific times and stuff and like remember, which I guess is pretty hypocritical because I literally vend at farmers markets. But, and I do buy stuff from this farmers market, like the hot sauce. I buy my honey from here. But like produce like that, like, you know, fresh produce like strawberries, watermelon, whatever, different melons, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's hot. I'm going to be like, you know, obviously they come by towards the end. So it's like, we're about to be tearing down and I just can't be bothered to figure out like, or to like think about at that point, like what it is do we actually need? Because they're not like selling everything. They just kind of walk around with whatever they have the most of, I guess. And it's like, do we even need that? I have to sit there and think about it. Do my kids like that? You know, are we going to be like going out of town? Are we going to eat it fast enough? Like, it's like an impulse buy, right? And I don't like to impulse purchase. I'm trying to be better about that and everything. And also the biggest reason is I have to deal with it and my car is really far away and I have to deal with it until we load out. And then it's just like this thing that I wasn't prepared for. It's not like, you know, I have a cart that I'm rolling to my car, you know, like a grocery cart or whatever. Anyway, so I always say no to them coming around and trying to like, sell whatever they haven't sold throughout the day, you know, and like there's usually like haggling involved too, you know, like, oh, well, what if I give it to you for this price? Or what about this? What about, and I hate haggling. Maybe it's probably because I'm a people pleaser. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. And, so I always say no, and I'm very proud of myself for saying no, because again, people pleaser, it's very difficult. This time they came around, was like, hey, they had watermelons and they, you know, they were like, do you want any watermelons? And I said, no, thank you. Oh, jeepers. This is only the second time I've ever used this, and it's like, that's so much chemicals. That's not good for anyone. Oh my gosh. I bought that because of my being in Florida and then my nephew's wedding. I knew it was gonna be hot. I really, really did not need to use this today. I don't know why. I just decided to do that. Anyways. And this time I got interrupted by my kids, so I don't remember exactly where I was at. But this time they were selling watermelons, and I cannot tell you how much I did not need a watermelon right now because my dad, who is my lovely next door neighbor, just got a huge watermelon and cut it up and was like, I need you guys to come eat some of this watermelon. Like, he's like overflowing with watermelon. That's literally the one thing that we just did not need at all. Kid came around, so he came around with watermelon, and you know, he was like, hey, do you want watermelon? I was like, no, thank you, we're good. And he said he's been talking about one of my crocheted items for a while. He plays with it when I bring it out. Always like says like, oh, I might buy that. You know, it's like, okay. And he said, you know, what if I buy that item? You buy a watermelon from me, I'll buy that item from you. And I literally said, you want to just trade, which was a better deal for him because my item was more expensive than the watermelon. And so I just said, you want to just trade? And he said, no. He's like, well, he said he wasn't allowed to. And so I was like, okay, sure. So I bought the watermelon from him. Now, it was a $10 watermelon. I don't actually think it was a bad price for the watermelon. Like, again, it was a farmer market watermelon, and he picked it out, okay? So I said, okay, and he picked it out, and when he handed this thing to me, it literally made me bleed. So sorry, I don't know why I decided to do that in the camera. Hopefully editing Mary will edit that out. But anyways, yeah, so I bought the watermelon. He picked it out and brought it to me. I'm not a weak person, okay? I need that to be said. I'm not a weak person. I lift super heavy stuff all the time. My dad has a construction business and I help him with different things. And when he needs help unloading something, I'm the person he calls. Like, I'm not weak. I saw how big the watermelon was. It was genuinely like so big. Like this, I can't even fit my hands in the frame how big it was. Very big. It was huge. So like that just goes into it was worth, like it was a good value. Like I'm not complaining about that at all. But I hand my hand and like I went to take it like this because he was holding it like that. And when he dropped it in my hand, and I was like prepared for it to be hefty. It literally dropped, like fell so hard on my hand, and my hand fell on the table and literally cut myself, and I was bleeding because like it was such a heavy watermelon. My husband was sitting next to me. I put it on his lap, and while he was like doing something, and he literally was like, oh my gosh, it's making my leg go numb. Like move it, like legitimately. And I understand that it's an awkward thing to carry. Like it doesn't have any handles or anything, but I can carry my 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old child for much longer, much easier than I carry this watermelon. Again, I think part of it's because it's just like a difficult shape to carry because it's round and all that, but it was so big. It was like problematically big. And so anyways, so that was the watermelon that we got. After I bought the watermelon and we like, you know, you buy the watermelon, I buy the crochet thing, whatever. Then he haggled me further on the price of the crochet thing. And so I ended up selling him the crochet thing for a discount. Which, again, like I don't like to do. I don't normally do. But like I'm such a people pleaser. I don't like haggling. Like I know some people find it fun. I find it incredibly uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. But anyway, yeah, it was just like overall, like now I'm like bleeding. I got this thing I don't want. Like it's a huge watermelon. We already have so much watermelon. I literally don't want this. And now I just have it. And it's like this annoying thing. Fast forward to the end of the market and we're packing up. Again, it's super hot. It's about to be the hottest part of the day in Texas. We have to load up all our stuff. We have to wait, right? Because now the food trucks are all blocking where the vendors back in to load up their stuff. So we have to wait for all the food vendors to leave. And then after the food vendors leave, it's like a mad rush of all the vendors trying to like scramble for parking spots. Meanwhile, like there literally just might be like customers parked there because it's a public park that just stays open, obviously. So it's like chaotic. Usually what my husband and I do is we literally just wait. We just stay open and we chill out until like 90% of the vendors are gone and we wait. A lot of times we will also make like more sales during this time of waiting. And, but this time my husband was like, I'm starving. I don't feel well. I want to actually get out of here. Literally like the first time ever that that's what we were going to do, that we decided we were going to try to actually get out of here. And I was like, okay, if you're not feeling well, like we'll do it, you know? But again, I told you the issue with our dolly. And so I was much more on the side of, hey, let's wait and make sure that we can load out easily, since load in was not easy. But again, when one person in your party is having an issue, you know, you gotta do things, you gotta pull through. So, he went and got the car. The closest he could park was not close at all, not in the whatever. And it was like much farther away and through the grass, through like more than just grass, through like a blanket of pine needles that had fallen off the trees and tree roots and stuff like this. And, but that was like, you know, the closest we could get the car. And so we tried going that way. We got the first load, okay, but it's hot. We're exhausted. It's Texas summer. It's hot, and this stuff is heavy. You know, we have our cinder blocks to weigh down our tent and everything, and you know, the tables, the merch, the tent itself. Like, it's heavy stuff. And on the last round, we have the watermelon, and I'm already like super tired and exhausted at this point. That is the only problem with like these like one day, only a few hour long farmers markets. It's so exhausting because you have to haul everything in, set up only for a few hours, and then you have to tear down and, you know, load out. And then when you get home, you have to unload the car. Like, it's a really exhausting day. Whereas like the 3-day festivals that I do a lot, it's not as exhausting because, you know, you do all the heavy lifting the first day. And sometimes you don't even vend that day. Sometimes it's just like get your stuff in and set up and then leave it, come to the next, you know what I mean? Like, it's more spread out. So I will say that these one-day farmer markets where they're literally only a few hours, that's like the difficult part. But anyways, so yeah, so he wanted to, oh no, I'm out of this. Oh no, I'm not. So yeah, so he wanted to get out of there. So that's what we did. And so the last load was like, I think cinder blocks. Was it cinder blocks? Yeah, I think it was cinder blocks, and maybe like one of my shelving units on top of the cinder blocks. And then I was carrying like the chair and something else, a couple of things, and I had the watermelon. I was like, can I put this watermelon on the dolly? Because it is so heavy. Like, I would literally rather carry, you know, the cooler and the chair and all this other stuff I had on me than the watermelon, because it was legitimately that heavy. And so I tried to set it on there, and I was like trying to hold it on there while carrying this stuff, which in retrospect I would have done a lot of stuff differently. But like but yeah, so I'm like holding it and trying to walk with a hand on the watermelon to make sure it doesn't fall off. And I had a pretty good hand on the watermelon, you know, making sure it wasn't moving, wasn't falling off. However, the one thing I did not factor on was the entire shelving unit, the metal shelving unit, sliding off. It was on a table. That's what the problem was. It was like cinder blocks, tables, metal shelving unit, watermelon. Mm-hmm. So what happened? Obviously, I'm sure you can all guess it. The shelving unit slid right off. Watermelon hit the ground and just split open. And now, not only did I lose my watermelon, which I genuinely don't care about at this point because I'm so over it, I have this sticky watermelon-y mess to clean up. So, like, seriously, it was so demoralizing at that moment because, like I said, this is in a public park. It was such a huge watermelon. I couldn't just leave it. Like, I get it. I don't know if it's technically littering because like wildlife can eat it or whatever, but it would have been a problem. Like, so now I'm trying to like, I think my husband immediately picked it up and put it on the stuff. The problem is, as I'm sure you can all guess, it is actively leaking massive amounts of sticky watermelon juice. And now all that watermelon juice is over my shelves, my tables, you know, all this stuff. So I leave the watermelon there, We get all the stuff to the car. I help him load up the car. I grab a bunch, or that's what it was. I was carrying the garbage bag because at this location, you cannot use the publicly offered garbage cans, which I get. They don't want vendors dumping like a bunch of stuff. 'Cause some vendors do. They'll like bring these big boxes and then they'll like just dump them in the garbages and stuff. So like, I get it. You don't like you as a vendor literally cannot even, it's ridiculous. You can't even throw away a cup in the garbage cans. You have to bring your own garbage bag. So I had a garbage bag. So it broke all over. I immediately picked it up and tried to put it in my garbage bag. And again, you're probably like screaming at your screen, like, why are you so dumb? Like, why are you making these bad choices? It was really hot and I was really exhausted. Within 30 seconds, less than that, the garbage bag rips open. And now I'm picking up trash, watermelon sticky covered trash off the ground. And the point that we were at was just like loose dirt, like lots of loose dirt. So I'm digging through this loose dirt. I'm kneeling in this loose dirt, picking up all this watermelon sticky garbage. And now I have a garbage bag that has this massive hole in it. So I leave the watermelon there, grab all the stuff, literally do what I can with the garbage bag. Can't throw it away in the bins there. So I have to put that in my car. I literally grab my shopping bags. I triple bag it. Watermelon breaks through again. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't know why I kept trying the same type of thing. I literally just ended up having to put it in my car with like bags under the watermelon. And then when we got home, we threw it away in our wheelie bin. And I had to take out all of my stuff, my tent, my tables, my shelves. And literally I had to hose it all down and leave it out to dry and everything. And it was so exhausting and such a bad experience. And that is why I always say no. Again, not necessarily, like, it is partially, it's not because of the price. It's not because of the quality. Because again, I shop at farmers markets. That's where we get most of our produce. I'm a big believer in shopping small and supporting local. I'm all about that. But when I'm vending at an event, I just can't be dealing with that kind of stuff. I didn't have a grocery bag. I didn't have a market bag. I didn't have, like some people have like the rolly like carts or whatever. I was not prepared to take on that kind of burden, I guess. I don't know. I will never say yes again. I can guarantee you that. I will, like, I'm not vending at the farmer's market this Saturday. I fully intend on going there and shopping because I genuinely do shop at farmer's markets. But I'm, you know, the fresh produce, like stuff like honey. I've gotten like tinctures. We get our soaps from there. We get our, I got shampoo bars that I really like. You know, we buy a lot of stuff from farmers markets and I don't mind shopping when I'm there, but for certain things. And never again will it be fresh produce. It was so demoralizing at the end of the day. It was made the day like so much more exhausting and like so much worse. And that's what happened at the last farmer's market. Was that worth the $300 we made? And again, you got to take out square fees, taxes. I think, you know, got to take out square fees, taxes, obviously my material costs, and the $300, like, I don't know. But anyways, that's how that farmer's market went. We're going to be going back. After that one, we're just like, you know what? We need a weekend off. It's been like, we've had vacation and stuff, but we have not had just like a weekend to like relax at the house, work at the house, just, you know, reset. So we're going to take that this weekend, this Saturday, and yeah, we'll hit it again after that. But anyways, thank you so much for coming along with me for this. I'm going to get better at these market recaps. We're going to get more streamlined, less scatterbrained and chatty. But I hope this was an okay format, like getting ready while chatting with you about the farmer's market. I don't know, we'll see. But thank you so much for coming along with me, and I will see you in the next video.